Hello, everybody. Jim Malone coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, it looks like Tesla's numbers were not quite as good as they thought they were going to be, and definitely moved lower in the after hours. So this could be the beginning of, who knows what's going to happen here. But basically, what happened was the Tesla earnings fell about 21% year over year. So that's fairly significant in terms of in terms of that. So basically, their revenue climbed, but their earnings fell. So basically, the market is getting tighter for cars and indeed for some of the EVs. Now, one of the things, of course, with Tesla is Tesla has an advantage in terms of it has an advantage in terms of its profitability. So, because they make a lot of their own components and they're not dependent as much on outside sourcing, they do have a better situation. But it's still a tough market, and really one I think that you might be concerned about. I'm considering possibly doing a short on Tesla. I haven't made a decision yet, obviously, just because it's a tough market, and I did short CrowdStrike today, but currently I am still pretty much long everything. But the market is deteriorating, and I think we're going to take a leg down here. It's starting to look that way. It's starting to look that way. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 just real quick for everybody, and that shows basically. And let's jump it over here to the daily chart so we can see it for everyone. Okay, there's there's the daily chart for the S&P. We have been climbing, 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 climbing. We're at 413, but I think there's resistance right here at about 418, and so that's kind of what I'm anticipating. I'm anticipating hitting a ceiling here. We're almost up to 415, hitting a ceiling, and then I think that we're likely to move lower. So probably again, not the kind of market where we want to be. We don't want to be. We want to be mostly in cash. I'm pretty much about three quarters in cash. I do have a short, and then I do have some gold stocks. So again, tough market to trade. I just not feeling a lot of love in a lot of the areas. So just the kind of thing that's out there. Let's take a look. This is kind of what I'm currently holding here. I did sell off some things. Pretty much flat today. Everything that I have is down. AEM, of course, that is the Canadian gold miner. Um, Goldfields GFI, I'm down on that one as well, just slightly, but I'm down definitely. Lattice Semi, I'm down. I got rid of Rambus. I decided that it just wasn't performing well enough. Also, when this was taken, I was down in Exxon, but I think that's come back, and then triple flag. So not not really the greatest. Now I am short on CrowdStrike. I shorted it at about 133.08. So a nice little pickup there on CrowdStrike. It's moving lower. So I definitely think that that's likely to be a pretty good one coming up here. I want to take a quick look at CrowdStrike just to show you kind of where I shorted it. CRWD is the yeah, there we go. Okay, so here's CrowdStrike. I'm when you short, I think it's the best to take a look at the weekly, not the daily charts. That's kind of where I think a lot of the there we go. And part of the reason, as you can see, we just have that's where I shorted here as it tried to make an attempt on that 40-day line. You'll notice that it's starting to bounce down. You'll notice that there's a resistance line there, and that's kind of what's happening. It came all the way up here. This was basically in 21. It's rallied, and now it's rallied, and I think that it's gonna go lower. We definitely have some selling going on here. So we'll see what happens. Relative strength is 41, which isn't terrific. So I definitely think we're going to likely see it move lower. And it did seem to make that move. It did seem to make that move. So we will see kind of what happens there on that. All right, so let's. I want to just talk with you about a few of the gold stocks that I'm following. One of them, of course, is AEM. Now, this was down today, but I still think that there is, depending on what happens in the overall market, I definitely think that there's a nice action on this one. Let's take a look at the. Um, this is the daily. This is the weekly chart here. Hopefully, you can see it from TikTok. I'm going to try to put it in there as best I can. So hopefully, you can see it. Here's a little bit of a it had blown up a little bit for the people on TikTok. But basically, what's going on here? We have this cup, and I do think that we are possibly moving higher. It was off today, but it's up after hours. So that leads me to believe that there's still there's still some strength. Let's go to the daily here. See, yeah, we came below. We tested um, we tested the 21 day the 10-day line. And we've moved through it, but we're up in the after hours. So I definitely think that we're likely to move higher here. This is a classic handle. I didn't quite get it at the right place, but it's just a classic handle. The relative strength on this one is 87, so that's looking pretty good, and that's one you might want to consider. All right, let's get to some of the questions. Thank you so much for hanging out there. I do appreciate it. Yesterday, I did have a little bit of technical issues, unfortunately. Fernando, thank you for tuning in today. Hello, I'm up 6% on Melly. That's great. You know what? I would think, Fernando. I think you might want to consider selling half your position here. I need in this market. I would say if it were a better market, I would say hold it. But I think really, right now, I think the best thing is, cash in hand is cash in hand. Let's take a look at Meli. Mercado Libre, MELI, is really the Amazon of Latin America. I actually, when I was down in November, when I was down in Mexico City, I just saw their trucks all over the place, and it appears to be a really good service. And I think that especially in Latin America, where they have situations with price fluctuations and all that kind of stuff, I think these guys are very, very well positioned, and great stock, very, very well run company. And let's look at the weekly chart here. Yeah, so I do think it's likely to move higher, Fernando. I think it's definitely likely to move higher, but I would be taking some profits here just to protect it. Relative strength is 96, just a great stock all the way around. And I think you got to pat yourself on the back for that one, because that is a very good deal. Very, very good deal on that. All right, let's look at Matt here. See if I can get my camera back. There we go. All right, let's look at AMD for Matt. See if I can see what we've got here on. It's pulled back. I'm looking at the weekly chart. Let's go over the daily to see if there's an entry point. Yeah, okay. So definitely it's been pulling back, and then it got support right at the 10-day line. So that's looking good, actually. That's looking good. I do like the chip area, and I think that buying this on the pullback is probably the place to do it. Relative strength is 92, so it's still quite strong, but it's down after hours. That bothers me a little bit here. Let's kind of look at things. Yeah, it looks like about a 67 checklist. That's my minimum. On the technicals, yeah, we're right below the 21-day line. I think you can start a position here. Essentially, this is a cup with handle. Let's take a look at the pattern rack. Yeah. Oh, sorry. This is coming off a flat base. They're saying it's a flat base. I think it's really more of a cup with an extended handle here. So I would be a little bit careful. Um, you could start a position here. You're close enough to the 21-day line where you could definitely do that. So not a bad place to go. All right, let's take a look at the next question. What do you think about RELL? Just had some good earnings, dropped a little bit to my surprise. Here's the thing, Tom, and this is just so strange. This is one of the reasons why, if you're not up about 10% coming into earnings, you want to kind of protect your position because it's odd. I mean, you think good earnings, that's the stock is going to go up on good earnings. Well, sometimes not. So it's always better to be very careful around earnings time, especially if you have a gain. I like to sell off and then wait to see what happens in earnings and then come back again. Um, Here's the thing about Richardson Electronics. Let's pull up this chart on it. Oops. There we go. Here's the thing about Richardson Electronics. One of the things is that, yes, it did have good earnings, but this is not a very good chart. One of the things you got to be careful about is when it drops below that 200-day line, that is a warning sign. Also, the relative strength is 24, so there's a lot better stocks out there. Even though it is it is doing quite well in terms of the relative to other stocks. I would just the earnings have been up. There's something going on here. I don't quite know what's going on, but there definitely is a situation. If we look at the technicals action on it, yeah, you see we're well below that 21-day line. I just think that this is a falling knife right here. Unfortunately, it's just anytime it moves below that, um, anytime it moves below that 200-day line, and it's so what's likely to happen is we're probably likely to get a rally and then possibly short. So I wouldn't be. There's a lot of people selling it, so I'm not surprised that this one's down based on this chart. So sorry to say that. Here's what I do. I would consider reducing my position here, or possibly, if you have any profits, I'd take them now because unfortunately, I think this is likely to go lower. That's just basically what I'm seeing on the charts here. All right, let's look at HIPO up 10%. We'll go to 24. Excellent. HIPO. Let's look for Charles. PO. Let's see. Hippo Holdings Insurance. Okay. Don't know this stock. I'll be honest with you. Property. It's in a P&C company. So up nicely. Yeah, up 3% according to this on the day. So that's pretty good. I don't know. It's above the 200-day line. Maybe, maybe. I think Charles, we'll do better with Exxon. I hold Exxon. I think it's gonna have good earnings. I just think that there's a flight to safety here in the market. Yeah, I this is the chart here for um, this is the chart here for Exxon. Even after ours are at 116, we've kind of had this long sort of handle here, and I do think that we're very likely to see it move above. There's definitely some accumulation coming in here. I probably bought it too early here. I bought it at the beginning after this gap up, but I think it's likely to move higher. The numbers are good on it, and I may be increasing my position only because this is a top-rated stock. The cash flow is tremendous, $20 a share, and the PE ratio is 8. Now, normally I am not a investor. When I invest, I don't go for the PE, but in this case, I think it's really, really important to take a look at it just because there's going to be this is going to be a tough year for a lot of companies out there. I don't think it's going to be a tough year though for Exxon. I think Exxon is going to continue to do well. I'm really kind of looking at, again, my areas have been, the big mammoth oil companies like Exxon, chip stocks, and some of the gold miners, and I'm short some of the software companies. So that's kind of where I'm looking to be in the market. I'm looking to be short some of those larger companies. Oh, Halliburton and Schlumberger. These are two great companies. By the way, these are companies that are in the oilfield services. Now, here's the thing. There's several areas of the market that I think are woefully under invested. And one of the areas, of course, I believe is oil. It's an underinvested area. So that should benefit Halliburton and Schlumberger. Also, I believe that mining, especially gold mining, has been underinvested for years. And I think if the price of gold moves above about 2,000, which is where it is now, I think there's likely to be some movement into those stocks. So let's look at Halliburton, HAL, see if there's anything there to buy. Halliburton, yeah, it's moving. It's moving up. It's making a nice move. Um, in this kind of market, you just have to buy in the pullbacks, and that's going to be hard. It does look like it's getting some support. Let's take a look at the daily chart at the yeah, okay. It's right at the 200-day line. Not a place I love to buy it, but um, it does look like it's getting stronger. 41 relative strength, not a great number there. Let's look at Schlumberger, SLB. I guess they've changed their name just to SLB now. But let's go to Schlumberger, SLB. Schlumberger, yeah, this is a little better. I think that out of these two, you got to pick Schlumberger. It's got a much better chart. Let's compare them. I want to compare Halliburton and Schlumberger to make sure that I'm not just giving you a line here. This is Schlumberger, and let's look at Halliburton and go from the first of the year. Okay, I definitely think with this, Schlumberger is the better of the two. Let me put up the comparison chart here. There we go. I think we're back. Sorry about that with Schlumberger and Halliburton. Let's take a look at the comparison against them. I had my computer crashed, unfortunately, and don't quite know why, but it did. When I was trying to do the comparison, sometimes when I run these comparisons, it takes a lot of it takes a lot of processing power, and I probably need to be doing this with my new machine that has more power. But let's take a look at the comparison between and oops, Schlumberger and Halliburton, and click on over there so everybody on TikTok can see that. There we go. Great. All right. So basically, what's going on here with Schlumberger is that and I don't think you can see it very well, unfortunately. We've got Schlumberger, and let's add Halliburton. There we go. And let's do it from the first of the year. There we go. So if we're looking at both of these, if we're looking at both of these, and I definitely think that we're in an upward trend on the oil services. So I definitely think, Charles, you're looking at the right place. Uh, you're looking in the right place. But if you look at it, at least in the last since the first of the year, we're down essentially about 15% on Halliburton and just a tad on Schlumberger. But I do think we're starting to see a new trend, and we're starting to see it move upwards. So that is a definite thing. So of the two charts, I like the Schlumberger chart better than I like the Schlumberger chart better than the other chart. So let's jump on over to that Schlumberger chart. There we go. So now we're back with the Schlumberger chart. Hopefully seeing it. Yeah, there we go. So here's the deal with the Schlumberger chart. It's moving up nicely. It bottomed basically at about 43. Here's what I always look for. I look for this relative strength, 88 relative strength. So it's starting to get stronger against the market. Now, the Schlumberger is outperforming the rest of the group because you'll notice that the oilfield services is 113 out of 197. So therefore, with this relative strength, Schlumberger is leading. So this is if you're going to look at this area, the oilfield services area, which I think is a good area, Schlumberger is the one you want. And let's take a look to see. Yeah, it's got the better checklist, 89. On the technicals, we're still really close to that 50-day line, 21-day line. So that is a good place to buy it. So this is absolutely buyable right here. It's within 5% of the 21-day line. It's moving up and it's showing more strength. It does look like there is are things coming into this one. Let's look on the pattern rec. We're 7% below the pivot, and the pivot is at 55. So I definitely think, yeah, of these two, I think that I think that Halliburton, uh, you know, so I would say SLB um, uh, buy, HAL go buy. So that's kind of that's kind of my take on it. So I would be in. This is a good chart. You can see it's bounced and it's moving higher. And if as long as we can hold on to a little bit of the market, I think this one's going to go higher. Now there is a little bit of a the volume is a little bit low, but I like Schlumberger here more than I like Halliburton. All right. All right, it's time to buy KO and Pepsi. Wow. I don't like consumer cyclicals that much because they're so defensive. But you might be right because it does look like the market may be taking a ride lower. So let's look at KO. Of course, this is Coca-Cola, and it's Coca-Cola is profitable, and um, it's moving above this reversal line. This is the reversal line that I had in there for a long time. So let's reactivate that reversal line. So yeah, it's starting to show power out of this cup base, 75 relative strength. Yeah, I mean, you can make a case for this, definitely. You can make a case for buying this. I mean, I had this reversal line in here to see where it would move above. So let's look at the weekly chart for Coca-Cola. Yeah, I'm not too excited with it. Here's the thing. If we're buying boring stocks, let's take a look. I want to compare Coca-Cola with Exxon just real quick. I'm still probably a little bit more bullish on Exxon, but that's just my gut feeling, and I want to chart it. Yeah, Exxon's better. Not surprised. Okay, so let's compare Exxon and Coke. These are two, aren't going to go out of business stocks. Yeah, so here we go with Exxon and Coca-Cola. We're really looking at a situation where it does appear that Exxon is outperforming Coca-Cola. They're both good. I mean, Coca-Cola is essentially flat since the first of the year. It's a 100. Exxon's up about 6%. Nothing exciting here. Nothing exciting. But I think that, yeah, out of these two, I think you're better off with one of the mega cap oil stocks. I just really do. Okay, another question. Uh, yeah, golly, I know it's terrible, isn't it? I mean, I still think that if you're going to sell one, sell Halliburton and hang on to SLB. I think it's the better of the two. It's just this is a really tough market. I mean, I'll be honest, it's a tough market to trade. MRO. This is another good one. This is Marathon. Um, Now MRO is this is the convenience stores. So Marathon is two companies, Marathon Petroleum (MPC) and MRO, which is essentially the service stations and the convenience stores. Now they're both really really good. Let's take a but one of the things that typically does well in recessions, and this is interesting, are convenience stores. They typically do very well uh, in 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 downturns. Now, looking at the daily chart, we're still, yeah, we came up and we got resistance right here at the 200-day line. Nah, so probably wouldn't recommend this one. Uh, Declining relative strength line. Um, this is uh, the stores. Let's take a look and compare this um, the stores with the actual refiners. I think the refiners are better. It's also more expensive of the stock, but I think it's a better bet. So, oops, there we go. All right. So let's go and take a look at the comparison between um, petroleum and also the convenience stores. MPC, oops, is the refiner. MPC is the refiner. Okay. And you can see since the first of the year, that's up about 10%. MRO, which is the cheapie, that's the convenience stores, is down, and it's down about almost 10%. So of the two, MPC is better, and unfortunately, MPC is more expensive per share. But that's the way it is usually with the better stock. Um, it's a reason why it is more expensive. All right. So um, this is the refiner. Now the refiner, this is actually not a bad place to buy it. It's pulled down below the 50-day line. It definitely looks like it's going to get some support here at the 50-day line. Earnings are in 13 days. I think this could move up very, very easily. This is probably not a bad place to buy Marathon Petroleum. On the technicals, yeah, we're below the 21-day line. That's good. And we are in an upward trend, which is good. And we've tested right here at the 50-day line. So this is not a bad place to buy Marathon Petroleum. Let's look at some of the fundamentals on Marathon. And there we go. This is going to kind of give us an idea of what's going on. Last quarter, sales were up 13%. Now, this is the refiner, but the profits, and this is the key, were up 400%. So this has a price to earnings ratio of 5. I want to point this out. Price to earnings ratio of 5. So this is the one I think if you want to be in this space, and this is a very defensive. This is a good space, is defensive space. Um, I think you want to be MPC, not MRO. All right. Let's look at Han. This is another very. Oh, here we go. Do you think Hess will come back? Let's take a look at Hess. Hess was one of my favorite stocks for a long time, and so I don't know. I don't know. Let's take a look. HES, and this is Hess Corp. Uh, I don't know. This isn't this. I don't know. I'm going to look at the daily. Well, we came up and we kind of got some. We kind of got some. We kind of got some resistance right there, didn't we? 87. We got a downward trending. I think this is likely to what's likely to happen. Let's draw a trend line there. Is we're likely to come down, and I suspect we're going to get some support probably at about the 200-day line. I don't know. I don't know what happened to Hess. Hess is a good company, so I'm a little bit surprised on that. But it's always seems to be that way. All right, let's take a question from TikTok. Um, this is Mano Singh 40 looking at Tesla, and the question is Tesla a short? I think. I have not shorted Tesla yet, but I am looking to, because I think that certain things are going on with Tesla that might make it a situation where it might be a good short. Oops. There we go. All right. So now here we are with Tesla, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit on this. Look at some of the action. It'll come up here soon. All right. All right. Now the reason, yeah. Okay. So here's what's happening with Tesla. This might be a situation where we have a short. Okay. It's come up to this is the 200-day line. This is the 50-day line. I like to short at the 50-day line. And part of the reason I like to short at the 50-day line is because that typically where you see the most resistance. Now, I'm gonna um, I'm gonna see if I can remove the. Hopefully, not letting me do it. Well, it's not letting me do it. Okay, so we come up to this. I think that we're going to see it move back down, probably lower. So I am looking possibly to short. Yeah, I'm looking possibly to short here. Yeah, as you can see in the after hours, it's down about 4%. And if we get a rally tomorrow, which I definitely think we'll get up to about 180, then I think we could possibly look to short this. But that's kind of how I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it that way. Okay. All right. Let's take the last question. The last question is with Schwab, and Charles Schwab, has a huge bank that has tremendous. Matter of fact, I bank there for some of my rentals, and it's had a lot of cash withdrawals. SCWB. Let's take a look to see uh, Charles Schwab SC. I can't remember what the SCH. Yeah, there we go. SCHW. SCHW. There we go. There's Charles Schwab. There's been a lot of concern with it, of course, because it does hold so much cash that, by the way, companies like Charles Schwab, they're going to have to start paying for deposits. It's real interesting. It is in, okay, it's not, it's not being, oh, come on. Sometimes my processor power just isn't enough. Yeah, and that's definitely the case here. So let's see if it'll, okay. So here we go with Charles Schwab. Definitely a rally. Uh, definitely a rally in the price. Coming up here to the 10-week line, 16 relative strength. It's above the 21-day line. Here's the thing. I think it might be a short at about 60, but I wouldn't do anything here right yet. The earnings were up. It's not. I don't think it's going to go out of business. Yeah, I probably would skip this one. Probably just watch list this. Just probably watch this one at this point. So that's probably what I would do. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks so much for taking a look at my show. By the way, if you haven't already liked the show, please do so. It really helps us out. We're trying to, to keep on the air here. And so please, please, please like the show. So smash the like button. That really, really helps us. If you're not already a member of the Action Trailers, super duper easy. Just go to www.Dallas Trading Floor and sign up for the free Action Trade Alerts. I'll be back tomorrow at the same time, about 5. So I will see you then. Hopefully, everybody have a good trading day. Be very careful. Don't expose a lot of your portfolio to the market. Right now, I'm only about 25% invested. So I'm mostly in cash, and then I'm looking for things to short. So I definitely think we're going to probably take a leg lower here in the market. And in a leg low in the market, you want to be primarily in cash and short. So that's kind of where you want to be. I will see you tomorrow. Happy trading.